Welcome to all the amazing and wonderful paid face group members that are showing up today for this presentation, or clicking on the link, whatever it is that's showing up on your side of the screen today. My name is Scott Bell, and I'm your presenter for this particular video today. I am a bookkeeper and business consultant. In addition, I am married to an amazing woman who is also a small business owner and an entrepreneur in her own right. So as a member of this group, I am somebody who kind of gets it from all sides in my home on the different challenges and successes, accomplishments, everything that goes with being a small business owner. And one of the things that I really enjoy doing is looking at myths. I'm a huge Mythbusters fan, and I give apologies in advance that I can't necessarily bring in explosions and pyrotechnics and all the fun things that made up the show. But what I can do is take time a little bit with you today and in future video presentations to tackle some myths that come up around bookkeeping, business consulting, and how they impact our businesses and hold us back from where we want to be. That being said, and getting a little bit better knowledge about who I am here on the slide, let's jump right into the number one myth out there as far as bookkeeping goes, and that's that bookkeeping is just cheap accounting. A lot of people look at it this way, and it seems like whenever money is tight or things are just starting up, you name it, we have a tendency to be inclined to have views like this. And being small business owners, we just generally tend to wear way too many hats in any given day. And some of you, God love you, are wearing 30 or more, it seems like, and bookkeeping is just one of many. But as is true with so many myths that are out there, this myth in and of itself isn't exactly true, and why it isn't could have very serious implications for you and your business. Accounting and bookkeeping really are services that run parallel to each other. They are separate but very closely related. They are two sides of a coin called financial services for your business, with each of them fulfilling a very needed scope that shapes that coin. So if the myth isn't true and bookkeeping isn't just cheap accounting, then how should we be looking at it then? Honestly, it's the differences in what we do as bookkeepers, CPAs, accounting type people that set our functions apart and make the myth untrue at the end of the day. So simply put, bookkeepers take care of your daily financial needs, documenting your daily business activities, where CPAs and accountants basically take care of your taxes and tax liabilities. So looking at that a little bit deeper, what you're encountering are that bookkeepers traditionally don't do taxes or tax-related items. We typically don't dive in very much with regulatory financial matters for our clients. However, bookkeepers do work on all the various pieces of documentation that make up your particular business day. So think about invoicing, credit memos, payments, deposits, that kind of thing. That's where we live, eat, and breathe on any given day. CPAs, however, once they get large enough client base, don't do the bookkeeping services anymore. They go to school to know how to do a client's taxes correctly so that the client pays what they owe and keep as much of the revenue as possible. Bookkeepers traditionally aren't going to interact with the IRS or other taxing authorities other than just making sure payments are getting out on time and to the right place. On the other hand, CPAs handle questions and notices from the IRS and other taxing authorities on a very regular basis as representative for their client. Accountants can't do their job without services that are considered bookkeeping at the end of the day. On the same hand, bookkeepers can't do the daily activities correctly for your business without input from the CPA on what affects the taxes for you, the client, on any particular year. So hopefully you're getting a little better understanding that even though we're very similar in many ways that are important, we have some very, very interesting differences in what we do and how we do it, which definitely shows bookkeeping is not accounting at the end of the day. When we look at all that, part of the confusion that lends credit to the myth is who are these people and ultimately what do they do at the end of the day. So as you can see on the slide, giving a little bit of a breakout on who these people are, what do the titles mean then? So tackling the biggest one, CPA, Certified Professional Accountant, are people that go to college, get a college degree, 4-year degree in accounting, and then they go on to become board certified. They answer to a professional board in their state for the conduct and operation of their business, which gives added protection to you, the potential client. Because of this, they can sign your taxes and other related documents in that vein as your representative. And jumping back to bookkeeping, bookkeeper is a term that we use to identify somebody who learns the ins and outs of documenting your business activities. That includes things such as creating a chart of accounts for all your activities to tie into, reconciling all your various business accounts so that you know that you actually have the money you say you do, collecting and storing all the various documents that back up your activities, just to name a few. And in between the two are accountants, or the term accountant, which is a term we use very interchangeably for CPA and bookkeeping. And the truth is these are usually people that oftentimes may not have finished up their schooling or may not have gone and gotten board certified, but they're knowledgeable about the tax cycle. They can certainly answer a number of questions and actually prepare a lot of the paperwork, as well as doing most all the bookkeeping activities that might be needed to get the taxes ready to go. The main thing is they cannot sign off as your representative unless they are a CPA at the end of the day. So one of the very important things to keep in mind moving forward is that trust matters. When you're looking at services like this, and especially because of some of what I'm about to bring up, services in this vein, CPA, accounting, bookkeeping, are very much built based on having built a trust relationship with you, the client. We all have access to very private information about your businesses, and interestingly enough, if you're a small enough business owner, entrepreneur, it oftentimes leads to us knowing very personal information about you. And like always happens with this kind of relationship, there are people that take it very seriously and safeguard it and keep confidence and keep that trust as very front and center to everything that they do, as well as there being a number of people who just can't be bothered with the time of day in that regard and don't care what they do with that information. That is, again, part of where I think this myth gets a little bit of grounding, in that as business owners on some very real level, we're very frightened by that prospect, so we tend to avoid dealing with the whole issue of bringing in these outside people if we don't need to, until we don't really have a choice anymore, because we recognize how exposed we really are. Both CPAs and bookkeepers will often specialize within their practices, meaning they'll get better information. So think about, somebody focusing primarily on veterinary services or dental practices or law firms. That taking that extra step towards specializing in that way allows us to further develop that trust relationship with you, the business owner. So when it's all said and done, and we look at all these things that pop up around this myth, is there something that we can do that helps us make a better decision about whom to use and when to use them, and kind of figure this all out? And the answer at the end of the day is absolutely. We can ask some very pointed questions that help us get there. One of the best things we can do in assessing our businesses is come to a good decision about key people like bookkeepers, CPAs, and when to use them. Towards that end, I created a quick checklist that I will find a way to get a link into the system here wherever this comes up, that identifies a total of 11 questions that are very helpful for you to assess that range of topic within bookkeeping and CPA work. And keep in mind that once you look at it for yourself, you can actually use those very same questions to talk to those professionals and see if they can actually help you the way that you need to be helped. But from that list, we can look at 3 top questions that really kind of rise to the top. Does it seem like you work and work and work all the time just to try and keep up with your business, and that's all it ever seems that you can do? Or do you actually have time to work on your business and enjoy life? Are you paying yourself a minimum salary to help your business financially, like a lot of us wind up doing? Or are you actually finally finding a way to pay yourself what you're really worth? And ultimately, at the end of the day, do you know if you're really profitable or not? Major, major question right there. So in wrapping this up, if you have a bookkeeper or trying to do that for yourself and the answers point, I think we've got it set up for yes answers on the handout to make available to you guys. If you're answering yes to the questions the way they're laid out, then you need to potentially make a change or seek somebody else to help you. The services really aren't serving you the way that they're supposed to. And if you don't have a bookkeeper and you're answering yes to those, then it's kind of probably time for you to start searching around, trying to find somebody. So hopefully working together and dispelling this myth allows you to stop juggling so many balls and focus in on, let's get the right person in the picture here then, so that you're able to get one less ball out of your hair, get some measure of sanity back, and get back to serving your customers and clients with more focus. So that all being said, I've appreciated and enjoyed the time spent with you today. Please feel free to leave comments about this video in the thread where the topic is coming up. That will help me, like the other presenters, to keep up with you guys in conversation on the Facebook page. Also, please like the thread that this presentation came up with, as that helps us continue to create content that serves you guys on your journey. If you have any other questions related to bookkeeping or the topic we brought up today, please feel free to set up an appointment on my website. I'd be more than happy to chat further with you that way as well. I hope to see you guys in group soon.